O's fans, Jackson Holliday out, Chris Bassitt in. Joe Rosano's Orioles report is next. Welcome to Joe Rosano's Orioles report. Joe Rosano for Michael Sullivan and Matt Faulkner. So, Orioles fans, Jackson Holliday down, won't be ready for opening day. That's bad news. That is really bad news. And I hope the young man heals relatively quickly. So now what that did, at least here on Joe Rosano's Orioles report, is that did end the controversy as to who was going to be the opening day leadoff hitter, which, Jackson, if you're watching, I had you penciled in, actually penned in as the Orioles leadoff hitter, starting second baseman. So we're going to start with Jackson Holliday. Now what, O's fans? Now what? Well, I always ask Mike Elias that. Now what? Blaze Alexander, you got to figure, is now going to take over at second base. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. They could bring back Ramon Urias, have him at third base, move Westy over to second base. Maybe Jeremiah Jackson could be considered. And that's the thing. We're gonna start here. Jeremiah Jackson. I mean, tell me, those fans, really, he's that bad? He's that bad. They're talking like, he's not going to make the team and this and that. I thought he was one of the best players coming down the stretch last year. One of the best players. This episode is gonna make me get my glasses on here. So let's see what we got. Far as Jeremiah Jackson is concerned, I mean, again, not too shabby. AAA Norfolk, before he got promoted, 377. 11 home runs in 40 games. Okay, small sample size. Don't get me wrong, small sample size. But again, I mean, I'm just not sure where the fella went wrong. All told, with the Orioles, 276, 5 home runs, 21 driven in. OPS 775. I mean, again, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's an infielder. I didn't see why he didn't make the team in the first place, but although he's an outside shot of being the everyday second baseman while Jackson Holliday is down, he's an option. He's an option. And then they may bring someone in. Who knows? Who knows? Because I assume he's going to miss opening day, which means all of spring training. Okay, he misses opening day, and that means, extended spring training, that's rehab, the whole 9 yards, middle of May before we probably see our friend Jackson Holliday. And again, that is unfortunate. Big news, O's fans. The Orioles sign starting pitcher Chris Bassitt. Now, well, I assume that kisses Zach Gallen goodbye. Okay, and that is unfortunate, but we're going to look at something that is fortunate. Chris Bassitt, folks. Let me get my glasses on again. Chris Bassitt, career 83 and 65, 3.64 ERA. Okay. Last season with Toronto, went to the World Series. He does have World Series and postseason experience. 11 and 9, 3.96. 166 strikeouts to 52 walks. Again, not too shabby. Bassitt has thrown at least 30 starts in each of the last few seasons. So, again, he's been durable. I wanted Freddie Peralta, okay, or I wanted Zach Gallen. I didn't want Framber Valdez. I said it, and it's not the first time I've said it. I've already said this. What I wanted was a starting pitcher that was just a little more towards the front of the rotation. And Gallen would have given you that. Valdez obviously would have given you that. Suarez would have given you that. Now he's in Boston. Chris Bassitt, the only positive, I mean, there's positives. The positives are his ERA under 4 for his career. Okay, let me get back to that one more time. Might not even need my glasses. 3.64, 3.5 runs a game over a career. And that, again, not too shabby. 36 years old. So again, what does that do? Okay, so we're going to look at the rotation now. Trevor Rogers, or we're going to start from the top, I guess. Kyle Bradish, Trevor Rogers, maybe Eflin, Shane Baz, Dean Kramer, and now you have Chris Bassitt. Now, they didn't sign Eflin, Bassitt, or Baz to be in a bullpen. I have this sneaky suspicion that it's a six-man rotation. My colleague, Matt Faulkner, he disagrees. Matt, if you're watching, what are you going to do? Put Dean Kramer in the bullpen? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's a six-man rotation, and I think that for this reason. You got Bradish coming off Tommy John. You have Eflin coming off surgery. You have Bassitt, they just signed, 36 years old. I think that in order to protect Bassitt at his age, Bradish after surgery, and Eflin after surgery, I think it's a six-man rotation. Otherwise, Dean Kramer, who's been consistent, who's been very about a 4.2 ERA across the 4 or 5 seasons he's been with the Orioles. He's a CEP, a close enough pitcher. I don't see him going to the bullpen. And again, you didn't give up all those prospects for Boz to go in the bullpen. Your opening day starter last season, Zach Eflin, he's not going to the bullpen. Chris Bassitt signed 1 year, and that was the contract, by the way. 1 year, $18.5 million. 1 year, $18.5 million. Full disclosure, honestly, I'd have rather had Verlander. I would have rather had Verlander. Now, Verlander's going to pitch somewhere, and what I want O's fans for us to monitor what he does this season. Okay, I just want you to remember you heard that here. I wanted Verlander, but again, unfortunately, Jackson Holliday injured, broken hammock bone in the hand, hit by a pitch during batting practice, is on the injured list. Will not be ready for opening day. At the age of 22, they're not going to rush him back. So I'm thinking May. I'm thinking May. Might get lucky if we see him in April, because again, they do all that stuff. They do all of that stuff. This broken bone today, it being the 11th of February. So 2 months brings you to the 11th of April. So might see him mid-April. But again, they're going to do extended spring training probably and some rehab. So let me know in the comments, folks, because this makes it even more exciting that we are doing live episodes starting March 26th, opening day, starting at 2 p.m. You got your pal Joe Rossano here. You got the brilliant Michael Sullivan. You got the handsome Matt Faulkner. And you can call in. And what I want you to do is to make sure that you tell the brilliant Michael Sullivan just how wrong he is for questioning the Joe Rossano, the best Orioles analyst that's ever walked this planet Earth. I'm sorry. It's a God-given gift. But again, what I think could happen here is this. They do the six-man rotation, or I imagine Dean Kramer is the one that heads to the bullpen. I'm very surprised to see that, by the way, if they don't do the six-man rotation. And you have the Ryan Mountcastles, the Kobe Mayos, a couple of guys in the minor leagues that probably most of us never heard of. So I think come the trade deadline, depending upon where the Orioles are, that's when you'll see the splash. That's when you'll see, Mayo and Mountcastle and whomever else, 3-4 guys go somewhere for a front of the rotation Bulldog starting pitcher. You hope. But again, to conclude, I regret to say Jackson Holliday injured, won't be in the opening day lineup, won't be on the team for opening day. Broken hammock bone in his hand, hit by a pitch. And the Orioles sign veteran starting pitcher Chris Bassitt, 36 years old, 1 year, $18.5 million. As always, O's fans, I have to say, God bless you. And please do me a favor, O's fans. Don't forget to adopt a pet. For the brilliant Michael Sullivan, the handsome Matt Faulkner, I'm Joe Rosano. God bless you. And we'll see you next.